YouTube, it's Rob with another video that defies seismology and plate tectonics and defies everything that we know to be real. Um, and it does, and it is what it is. This is the deal. This is the real deal. I wanted to show you the truth about the Yellowstone Park, since it seems to be an interest that people have. Here's the Hawaiian Island chain right here. My pattern, or my theory about our planet is not anything like plate tectonics or anything that anybody's heard before. And I know that that can seem like it can't possibly be true, and you know, one guy cannot be right when the rest of the world be wrong about things like this. But why don't you just take a look at some of my videos, and maybe you can come to a conclusion on your own before you judge me or this theory of mine. And this theory of mine is based upon reoccurring patterns. And there are no really reoccurring patterns in plate tectonics. So I had noticed these reoccurring patterns, and I had done over a year now worth of research. And I'm now showing basically everybody what I discovered about our planet, and it's all written on the surface features, and anybody can try to debunk this. And what I won't accept as debunking or proving me wrong is people that just think I'm wrong. That doesn't count. That doesn't mean you prove me wrong just because you don't think so, or you haven't proven me wrong because you think mainstream science says something other than what I'm saying. That just you thinking that doesn't make me wrong. Okay? What would make me wrong is if you went through any of my evidence and found maybe discrepancies. Maybe things don't line up like I say they do. But that's about all you got, because observable evidence is what I have, and it's the best evidence you can have. It doesn't matter if you got it, if it's just a cartoon, as long as it's accurate, and it is accurate of the Earth. That's just the way it is, man. When you have a theory and you have observable evidence that doesn't support the theory, guess which one has to change? It's the theory. And every bit of my evidence that I'm showing you here, not only does it prove me right, but it proves that plate tectonics is wrong, because it's observable evidence, and it doesn't support what plate tectonics claims. Okay, so let's get right to it. Here's Hawaii, the Hawaiian Island chain, and the scars that are related to it. And here we got Yellowstone Park right here. And I wanted to show you something really trippy about Yellowstone Park. It's actually right here, and if you look at it, it looks like a rose. So that kind of helps you pick out things when you're looking at the geology of our planet. If you start seeing rose-looking features like this and about this size, you can pretty much bet that it sat on top of Yellowstone Park at one time, or below it, or whatever. Because it's a reoccurring pattern, and what it is they claim it's a giant volcano, right? Well, it's actually more than that. And claiming that it's just some super volcano is actually doesn't give it a fair thing. It's bigger than that. It's has to do with actually the creation of our planet. It's another reoccurring pattern that you'll find all over the planet. I guarantee it, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. Here's the Hawaiian Island chain, and here's Yellowstone Park, and this is basically also was on top of Yellowstone Park at one time. That's why they look a lot alike. This is how recurring patterns work. They get separated, and I believe the mechanics that separate them is an increase in our planet size. And I believe that as the planet increases in size, which it may do during cataclysms, reoccurring cataclysms, it pulls the layers apart, or these could all happen at once. That's where I'm not sure. I wish I had a geologist on my side, because they, even though I think I can prove their theory wrong, they still know more about this planet than I do. Okay, that's the bottom line. They just do. It's just that their theory is not right. And I wish that I could have a geologist really look at this and, with an open eyes and help me with this, because it is what it is. Anyways, you can see the similarities here, and we'll see. We'll line them up. Okay, it gets better, so don't think this is the the best of what I have here. This is pretty good though. You can see the how it lines up. And what's interesting is you got to pay attention also down here, because this is the Grand Canyon. So, but you can see that they do line up and they're very similar. Now I have other evidence that is more exact than this, but this is pretty good. Okay, I mean, it does line up here. If you get closer, it lines up better usually, and this one does. You can see how you can see how it kind of fills in, and it's not an optical illusion, and it's not just a coincidence. The reason, okay, you see this, and I want to show you how reoccurring patterns work. You see this, and you see this, and you see this. Boom, boom. That's reoccurring patterns do this. That means that when the planet was being created, this thing was just making all this stuff. This is well, the bottom line is this is a vortex. This is a part of a, um, you'll have to, when you see all the videos, you'll get it, but it's basically a vortex and an electrical discharge all wrapped up into one. See how it lines up in multiple places? Here's another one of those roses, but it's facing the other way, and that's the other thing that this does. Because this is a vortex and it's rotating, I can flip this like from left to right, and it will fit in other areas perfect too. But check a look at this right here. You got this thing right here. Start lining that up in here, and you start getting new alignments. Okay, this is how you know you're when you're saying something is accurate, is that when you scrutinize it like I do, like when you start zooming in and getting really close, rather than disproving it, it just strengthens your theory, and you know you're on the right track. That's what the truth should do. If your information doesn't do that, then your theory is inaccurate. But this, you can see with your own eyes these reoccurring patterns lining up like that. You see how it keeps fitting? It's because it made all of this. It keeps fitting everywhere because this thing is rotating and cooking. Maybe it's cooking this out. There could be this. My theory is so new that I don't have everything like wrapped down on it, but I've got a good portion of it, and basically all my information is actually kind of, I believe, correct one way or the other. And but there's a couple things that I would need help with to figure out. You know, there are just some things I just cannot figure out. Well, I could, I think, in time, but I don't have all that kind of time. So anyhow, you see how it fits in there. You see this little guy right here. When you have scars on your coastline like this, they're there for a reason. And I don't know why, but I don't ever really see anything mentioned about these scars in geology. But then again, you don't see me, studying their books, you know, that intense. So who knows? I don't think that there's anything on those scars, but I can tell you what made them. And you can see the lines right here connecting. This is Hawaii over here. This is where it sits now. But with these lines attaching itself to our continent in every direction possible, there's a good chance that there's a connection between those two. Actually, there's a great chance, and you're looking at it. Continues to line up. I mean, come on, look at that. And it gets better. This ain't all. This is just the beginning here. I hope this doesn't turn into a long video, but you see these, you can just see the marks over and over again. You see how there's dots over and over again. There's always these. How come nobody noticed this? I don't know. I don't. It's just weird. But you see these dots right here over and over again. Those are reoccurring patterns of each other. They're not separate. They're only separate because they've been pulled apart from each other. But everything on our surface is a reoccurring pattern, and because of that, it tells you the complete story of how our planet was created. Is I mean, that's the bottom line, and I know it's right. It just is. Um, Recurring pattern. Recurring pattern everywhere. I know there's people that just automatically assume I'm wrong, but you know what's funny? When they try to prove me wrong, I don't hear about them again. They just go away. So all these people that come up here and tell me I'm wrong because they base it on the fact that, well, I'm matching things up. They're saying that the fact that I can match these up, I'm wrong because I'm just matching up patterns, which it doesn't make sense. I'm matching these up because they're related, and anybody with a brain can see that. There's no, I mean, look at how that lines up right there. You don't even have to imagine much. It just lines up so good. It just, and like I said, the harder you scrutinize this, the more it supports it. So I have no fear of anybody trying to prove me wrong. I know you can't, and I think deep down inside you probably know you can't. And I'm not bragging about that. It's just that I got to throw that out there because people just don't take you seriously until you start challenging them and their beliefs. Then they take you seriously and they get upset. But you know, I got to do what I got to do to get this out. I want people to understand how this planet was really made, and it's not made the way they tell you. And it doesn't, and the mechanics behind it aren't the way they tell you either. I can guarantee you, I don't need millions of dollars of equipment to tell you that they're wrong. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth. They're wrong. Their theory is completely wrong, and this is what proves it. I mean, take a look at this. Watch. Here's a distant shot, but here we got the islands. You just look for similarities like that. Of course, go in there, but then you notice, hey, that looks a lot like that. Recurring patterns line up, which then supports it. That's observable evidence that this is lining up. This is correct. There's a San Andreas fault line running over here, and yet you see me playing with this on both sides of the fault line, as if the fault line has no value actually here. It doesn't do anything. It's you would think that people would find it suspicious that if you got a fault line that's cutting out into the ocean, there should be parts of that plate cutting out with it, and you don't see none of that really. So it's time to reevaluate plate tectonics because it's not supporting the observable evidence that I'm showing you, and that means it has to change, not my evidence. My evidence is the evidence, and it stays the way it is. There's no changing that. It's the plate tectonics that needs to go, and it's just more obvious. Look, if I rotate this, it's gonna fit again right here. This is that. See that rose? You can't deny this, But I get a lot of people that just want me to be wrong, and they're so sure that I'm wrong, but they just can't prove it. Because they don't know what they're talking about, for one. I had a guy tell me I was wrong and then ask me what my theory was. And I said, well, if you don't know my theory, then how do you know I'm wrong? Why would you just assume that I'm wrong? That's what I don't get. People are kind of trippy these days. Here you go. Here's another alignment, by the way. See how these little mountain terrains just kind of fit right in? Yep. You want to know what Yellowstone Park is? This is a discharge right here, and that's what makes our planet. Our planet was made by an electric vortex, not by accretion. What makes more sense? Little dust particles, or gravity's just going to start pulling them together one by one until they build an enormous planet like this, or over billions of years, or is it electromagnetism in a vortex might suck the material off a brown dwarf star and create a planet within days? It could happen like in a week or less. I mean, this could have taken place in no time, that route. And that would explain why all these features line up so good. I can line up features from opposite sides of the planet and they look like they fit together like Legos. They're so good and accurate. But you can see, here we go, up here. If I rotate this, boom, it's going to get in there. If I rotate it the other way, it's going to do the same thing. Um, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I got other things. Hold on. Okay, here's a larger map of Hawaii so that you can see a bigger picture going on. Reoccurring pattern, reoccurring pattern. Hawaiian island chain then makes a sharp turn. I think what would cause that is either a reverse rotation of the planet. But that'll be later on. But check this out, okay? While I line these up, you'll see other alignments happening too. Okay. Now, you see that right there? You see how this has got like two lines, dots. You really need to pay attention to those because when I overlay these things, you can see that they line up perfect with it. And when I move them around, they line up perfect in other areas too, because you got to remember that these are recurring patterns, so they're constantly creating. See, like here, that dot. If I line it up there, see what I'm talking about? This, line it up over here too a bit. You know, this isn't my brain just picking these out. These are actually lining up for real. I mean, you're the only way you're going to prove me wrong is if you can prove that these are not lining up. And I don't think that can be done. Not honestly, that's for sure. Maybe someone could lie about it, but it still doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter. It lines up, and anybody can figure this out. So I'm not a scientist, so I don't have to worry about losing my job by exposing the truth to you guys. I really don't have to worry about that. I could care less about peer review. To me, that's just nothing but a bunch of censorship because I believe, I can say this because I don't have a job in the science field, so I believe that the mainstream science that we get is corrupted. It's no good. Because the stuff that I'm finding is, I believe an elementary kid could have figured out. Okay, that personally. It's all boils down to beliefs. It's the beliefs that blind people from seeing the truth. And it's our schools that unknowingly have taught us not to catch this. I mean, why else would I be the one that catches it? And I have caught this, by the way. Anybody that doesn't think that what I'm saying is accurate, well, then take your best shot and try and prove this wrong. That's all I ask. You know? Don't tell me how wrong I am. Show me. Here you go. See that? There's our Hawaiian island chain scars. Here's our rose. Right there. Boom. Look at that, man. Have you ever seen? I should show you what Africa looks like when you line it up with South America, like plate tectonics claims. It looks nothing like this. It's nowhere near as accurate as what I'm showing you here. Nowhere near. This is like high def compared to what plate tectonics has for visual evidence. See how that fits in there? Recurring pattern. Fits right down this line right here. Look at that. You want to know how this was cut out or whatever? Well, you can just take a look. You can see that these line up with these gouge marks. That's what those are, gouge marks. You want to know what did it? You see this thing right here? It looks like a 6 because it's rotating. This is what gouged this uh, um, our coastline right here. And you can see the layers that were that are related to it too. I like when I line these up right here like that, and then I look around and see what else lines up. And you can see it does line up around up here and stuff, and over here. And see that one of the Great Lakes right there. Okay, Great Lakes, Great Lakes. Everything seems to be related to Yellowstone Park because it seems to be like the core of the discharge. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, you see this? Oh, gosh darn it. Yeah, you see how it goes like that? Well, okay. I have a lot to show you. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it all either. Sucks. There, there. See how this fits in here? Recurring patterns. They don't lie. I'm just moving this around so that you guys, if you pay attention, you can see alignments everywhere. I really would encourage you to do this yourself because you really see a lot more this way. And this is just about all this is to me is I want people to know the truth about their planet. It just seems important to me that you know the truth. And plate tectonics, I mean, it's not exposing the truth to you. See, anyways, I don't want to spend too much time on this. So. But the alignments are everywhere, and they're perfect. I mean, like sometimes some of these are so perfect, it looks like it came off yesterday. Okay, now check this out. Here's a close-up. Have you ever wondered what made these lines on the ocean bottom? Well, let me show you. Okay, I gotta make sure I get all these alignments because you're gonna see a bunch of alignments that cannot be debated. They are what they are. Okay, so. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, right here. Okay. Here's the California basin. Reoccurring pattern. See how it fits here? Bring it through. Boom. Matches. You can see that these hills match it. Now there's a San Andreas fault line running through here, isn't there? Well, how can the ocean floor over past Hawaii match this so perfectly? You see, it's trippy, you know, and like I claimed, the closer you get, the better it's gonna match. See? See this right here? This matches no matter how hard you look at it. Okay, and I'm sure I'm missing. I want to make sure I get them all too. You see how that fits there? Look at that. Look how well this fits, man. It's crazy. This is how I know I'm right. It's funny because people have accused me of being delusional and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, it's not me that's delusional. It's it's the world. it's I mean, I got this right. I mean, unless you think you can prove this is wrong. Okay, so we'll go more, I guess. Let's see. Let me zoom out. There you go. Line. There's another alignment happening right there. Oh yeah, then there's the Grand Canyon right here. Look at that, right? And up there is all. But you know it's trippy. Well, wait till I show you this. After I do this, I'll show you what else happens. Okay. Here you go. See, we got an alignment here. It follows the contours of the land below. And here comes our Hawaiian island scars. See how they just line up? You can see it's like your eyes can catch all the details as it. See? Yeah, look. You see these faint white right here? Well, they line up perfect with those ripples again. I guarantee these ripples will line up with those other ripples in China. Boom. You see the disturbance here. And it sure lines up everywhere, huh, doesn't it? Look right here, here, here. It sets it off. It is what it is. Okay, let me zoom out. I believe there's. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Vortex. This is amazing because this is going to be one of those deals where I get this theory gets ignored for who knows how long, and then someone in the future, maybe after I'm gone, and passed away, will actually discover that I was right, and then they're going to look back and they're going to back at all the people that this just didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be one of those things where like, wow, because this is the way it is, and this is just this area. I got to cut this video short because I have a lot more to show you. I'm gonna have to make another video to show you the rest of this crap. It gets even better. This ain't even the best stuff. So, look. Oh yeah, what made those lines in our ocean floors? These did it. Yeah, where's our 6? Oh yeah, right here. Look. See how this lines up with this 6 looking? That's electromagnetic related. That's rotating, and this is also Yellowstone Park. I don't know if you're starting to get the picture of what's going on here. But if not, stay tuned. You will eventually. I guarantee you by the time I'm done making these videos, you guys are going to understand exactly what happened. See this line right here? Reoccurring pattern. This is where I live, by the way. You can see how it lines up here. See that? We all can agree on this, right? You can look at this and say, you know what? That does line up just like he says it does. And don't just look there. Look everywhere. You'll see other alignments as like that. It's great. I mean, it's awesome. Can you believe that they did not see this? How could they not see this? Okay, so, oh yeah, and then I promised you. Okay, let's go and rotate this from left to right. Image, rotate horizontally. Bam. Okay, so it spun around like it would, as if it was rotating like a funnel cloud. And now everything that matched the other way matches this way now. Except for I have to rotate it. Hold on. There, now watch this. Watch this and then this. And in these areas too. Bam, see that? Lines up here all the way down to here. Exact. That's an exact match. Reversed. It takes this area here again around Yellowstone Park and fits around it, because Yellowstone Park is actually a big event that happened in the not too distant past. I'm sure of it. This had to not be that long ago, because these line up so well, and I got areas that are even further apart than these that line up like perfect. Look at this right here. Looks like some rotations in order for this, but you could see that there's a similarity for sure as it follows the coastline around Texas. But and you see this right here, recurring pattern. Look at that, fits everywhere. Watch my pointer. You know, that's it. Usually I try to put it in the area that I'm trying to show you. Bam. Show me anything in plate tectonics that lines up this good, and I will be blown away. And there's our flower again. Our rose. Yellowstone Park is a rose. See? See how this lines up? And you know what's weird is that I'm probably going to get ignored by scientists and all kinds of people that I don't think people really want to know the truth. I look at here. This is the Grand Canyon area, and you see how that fits right there. The Grand Canyon and the Amazon River are not created by erosion. They're created by electrical discharge. Here's our layers right here. You can see that 2, 3, 1. It's not even that they, just the fact that they're the same distance, okay, away from each other is pretty impressive. But the fact that they line up as if you could, like they're, like it obviously made it like this. It's even better. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. You got this right here. See how it angles right in? This kind of looks like a flower, and then you can see how this fits right in there. Can you seriously deny what I'm showing you? Anybody? I mean, they've been thumbing down my stuff, and they don't realize that this is a game changer in science, that this is a big deal. But when you go and thumb something down like this, it shows your ignorance. It shows to the world and maybe God himself, that you're too ignorant to understand what I'm trying to show you, and it's simple. You know, in the future, they're going to look back and they're going to realize, they're going to think, wow, damn, that society was stupid because, you know, here we go. Look, I mean, you can't argue with this, but yet people are going to try to deny me. They're going to try to deny me, and they're going to get upset, and they're going to do whatever they got to do to try to make it seem like this isn't real, but it is. And there's nothing you can do about it except for ignore it, which is a root word for ignorant, right? So ignoring and ignorant is one of the same thing. So sometimes you just gotta buck up and face your fear, I guess, of knowledge. But that's what this is, right? There's no denying this. Shit. I'm gonna end this video right now, and then I'm gonna make another one for the other parts that I wanted to show you. Thanks for watching, and please don't judge me until you've done this yourself with the overlays. Okay, and then when you're completely satisfied that you think I'm wrong, well then go ahead and thumbs down my video. Other than that, don't thumbs it down on a whim. I think that's chicken shit, and I wouldn't do it to you. I guarantee you that, no matter how crazy your theory might have been. Thanks for watching.